Good morning everyone, Mason here. And today what I thought we would do is have a look at some of my Mosko Moto gear. The earliest stuff I bought was my Mosko Moto Scout 25 liter, and I bought that in November of 2016. And then that was followed by my R80 that I bought in the spring of 2017, and then my Nomad tank bag, which I bought shortly after, also in 2017. So I've had these three pieces of gear now for long enough to be able to tell you guys how they've stood up, if I'm happy with them, and would I buy them again. So let's go have a look at that. Well guys, there it is with all its Mosko Moto gear on. The only thing I don't have here today is the 25 liter Scout. And that was the first thing that I bought, and it actually is my go-to daily driver. It's the one that sits on the back of this bike all the time. It always has my first aid kit, my air compressor, and my water always in there, and then I add whatever else I need, whether it's camera gear or whether it's a sweater, rain jacket, doesn't matter, just get stuffed in there. Its own little beaver tail on top too. I'll put some pictures of that in here now. So that's my daily driver. 100% would recommend one of those if you are just using it around town, or even as a complement to your camping gear. It really does work well. It's absolutely waterproof, and it stood up to a lot of abuse actually through me. So that one I can highly recommend. Its price point is right too. It's an easy one to start with. That's why I did. I wanted to get a feel for their quality and fit and finish before I spent, you know, honestly a lot of money on the rest of the stuff. So that was my starting point, and I do not regret it. When the R80 comes off after the trips, the 25 liter Scout goes back on, and it stays on until I need to go somewhere with a lot more gear, and then I switch it out. Now the second thing I bought was the Reckless 80. The beauty of this system is it is rackless also. It doesn't require any form of racks on the machine. So you quite honestly receive your unit from Mosko Moto, you put it together with a couple bolts. The new ones allow you to pivot the side holsters to fit your machine a little bit better. The version 2 that I have didn't come with that, but regardless, bolt it together, put it on the bike, add your gear, and you go. And when you take everything off, the beauty of that is that your bike is as it was stock. There's no extra racks. You don't have to look at any guards or bars. Very clean when it's not on the bike. So to put the Reckless 80 on the bike, it's very simple. Once it's built and put together, you just throw it over. It sits in a big U shape. You throw it over. There's 3 straps on the back, and there's a strap on the front of each holster that runs down to wherever you can find a point. I've actually put some brackets on for mine, that just so they don't cut the straps. But there's always mounting points somewhere on a bike that you can tie those off to for the most part. They also sell connectors as well if you need them. Once those 3 points are on and the 2 front points are on, that's it. You just start loading it up. Now, the way I run my R80 is I have all of my camping gear in the top, and by camping gear I mean tent, sleeping pad, sleeping bag, pillow. My chair is back there. tarp and cover for the bike, all of that I keep in this top bag. So it's sort of a one bag setup. When I get to camp, I pop this off, I take it wherever I'm pitching my tent, and everything I need is in there. This is the beaver tail system on the top of the R80. Very simple system. It's got molly strips at the back that you can attach things if you would like. I tend to stuff stuff under the beaver tail, which works really well. Tripod, camp chair. This is the front portion of the beaver tail. It has two zippered pockets. I keep a set of rock straps in one, and the R80 does come with a spare dry bag that I keep for contingencies, whether we're buying groceries or where I have a whole bunch of wet gear that I don't want in with my other gear. That's where I keep that. Once the beaver tail's opened up, I do not use the Stinger top bag. It's not quite big enough for me, so I have an SW Motec bag that I run up here. Works really well. Lots of room to extend it if I need to pack it out as we go, but for the most part, that bag just comes off, my chair comes with it, and it goes to the campsite to set up for the evening. That's the beaver tail setup there. As you can see, it's very simple. It has a single strap here and then two straps on the top. Then you come to the side pouches. There's a top strap that helps hold everything in, but the sides of your roll top bag also clip in, so it's like double redundancy. Nothing's coming out of there. But once it's unclipped, you take your sides of your roll bag, clip them together, it becomes a handle, and out it comes. This is my clothing for a week and some toiletries in there. As you can see inside the holster, down in the bottom there's a aluminum bar, so you can change the position of this bottom cam lock if you need it in a different spot. For me, it was good the way it came. And then each holster also has a back pocket. I think on the new version this has changed. I'm not sure if it's attached with molly like I have these front ones or not. I don't know. We'd have to have a look at that. On the V2, they're attached. They have a drain hole in the bottom. They're not waterproof, but they're a great stash spot for stuff. I keep a first aid kit and a little compressor in there. On the front, I've added these large add-on molly bags that they sell with the sticks, with the molly sticks that you see here. You pull up to unhook and they detach. This side has my water. This side has my camp stove fuel, WD-40, bug spray, and headlamp. And then on the other side of the R80, I have my kitchen. This bag comes out the same way. Take the two handles up, clip them together, unclip the top retainer strap, and out it comes. And in there is all my food, camp stove, pots, spoons and cutlery. Anything you need for the kitchen is in that bag. So that's my R80, how I have it set up. It's just the plain V2 R80 with two add-on 4-liter molly pouches. And seriously, it works fantastic for me. And then let's have a look at how it's standing up. So this bike's been over a couple times, especially on the trips. It took one major crash on this side, up on Manitoulin Island, and there's no marks in it at all. My roll top dry bags are all still dry, no holes. As a matter of fact, if you don't get the air out of them, you can't compress them, so I know they're not leaking. The insides of these are all standing up really well. The beauty of the KLR is the back of the bike's actually quite smooth. Everything's smooth. There's nothing really abrasive to rub on the bottom. I've put a grip pad under here to stop the pad rubbing on the side cases, on the side plastics, and it seems to work fairly well. I get a little bit of a mark from this one here, but I am not worried about it. This side likewise, standing up perfect. It did get a wash after I got back from the trip. They're not usually quite this clean, but as you can see, there's no damage, zero damage. So 4 years of running around with me, being fairly abused, and they've stood up really well. that's my Mosko Moto R80. Am I happy with it? Yes. Would I buy it again? Absolutely. It isn't cheap. I will say that. It's not inexpensive, but I don't think you're buying something that's inexpensive. So for me, it's worth it. Yeah, you'd have to make your own decision on that, especially up here in Canada because the exchange rate doesn't favor us. Even if I had to buy it today at the poor exchange rate today, I would do it in a heartbeat because it's nice. I really, really like having quality gear. I think it's worth saving for. And so that's the R80. Love it. The next thing I have is the Mosko Moto Nomad. Now, the Nomad tank bag. I think it's going through a name change, possibly. But regardless, it's their big multi-level tank bag that Mosko Moto makes. I have also had this for 4 years now. This is never off of the bike. The only time it's off the bike is in the wintertime when I convert it to its shoulder straps and take it as a camera gear backpack. I've taken it on a couple trips like that so far, and it works really well. This, out of all my gear, sees the most use. It's the only one that's never ever off of the machine. As you can tell, it's very dirty, but everything is standing up really well. You have this outer beaver tail that you can attach more stuff via molly if you would like. Inside you've got some pen pockets, some more pouches here, and I keep my multi-tool on there, a spare clip for my Garmin, so if I take this off the bike I just clip my Garmin to that and off we go. That's the first level. The second level has just some, you know, some headache medication, Rolaids, some spare change, cards, my ownership and insurance. I keep some fully charged camera batteries here for the Sonys. I have a tire gauge, and this is all of my cards for the cameras. Most of that's full from the trip and in the house. And then up in here there's a little sunglass cubby, but I keep my garage door opener in there. Next level, it just keeps going, this thing. Big mesh pocket. I've got a buff, a mask, and a toque. That's what's in there. And then the bottom compartment, I am actually able to charge all my camera batteries, my drone controller, and some other things, miscellaneous things, my vape mod, and the Senas. We charge the Senas in here at night when we're camping. So what I have is a 12 volt USB port. Let me go around the other side here. So I have a power line, comes from the battery, and when I plug my tank bag in, all of this stuff starts charging. So the drone batteries are charging. The drone is in here, easy to get to. I typically have 2 of these double-sided Sony battery chargers in here. One's out on the shelf being charged right now. And then my controller, and it all fits. This is just big enough to do this. And in order to make this work, I can't have anything in the bottom compartment. So lastly, down in the very bottom, anyway, it does come with a water bladder. If you wanted to use it like that, you can. The water bladder sits in the bottom, and it's separate from your main compartment. I need the depth, so I have it out. Yeah, again, guys, zero wear. Like, the thing is mint. The waterproof cover's mint. I guess if you had to nitpick, some of the little elastic thingies are kind of looking like they're starting to stretch, but it's 4 years old and it's seen a ton of UV. So I'm fairly happy. All of the zips work. I do put silicone spray on the zippers. Just to keep them zipping, because there's so much stuff in here that everything, you know, it's always stretched out. So I try to help it along as best I can. But other than that, yeah, it works really well. I love the multi-compartment. It allows me to keep all of this stuff kind of separated, sort of in its own space. And yeah, it works really well for me. highly recommend the Mosko Moto Nomad tank bag. So the last piece of Mosko Moto gear that I have, or that I own, is the pinner tool roll. Simple, small, the same, feels like the same kind of coating as is on all their other stuff. So I know it'll be durable. It doesn't take much abuse though, because it's always protected in that side pouch. But good size, folds up to a decent size. It's not too big. They do a bigger one if you guys want a bigger one. But this holds everything I need. It's got a handy pull strap. I keep a T-bar that I can change the ends of, pair of ice grips, the wrenches that I need to work on the KLR, a couple pairs of rubber gloves, zip ties, a small quarter drive ratchet. Up in here I have spare chain links, tube patch kit, and some spare nuts and bolts. Here, Allen keys, some of the wrenches that come with the bike, the handle for breaking the axle nuts, the sockets that I need to do oil or any of the larger stuff on the bike, a spare valve, small extension, and some screwdriver bits. Next pocket, some dual lock, a spare plug, some JB Weld, duct tape wrapped around the JB Weld tube, a little piece of gas line, some spare fuses, some silicone spray, blue Loctite, and a file and a valve stem remover. A extension for my ratchet there, and that's the end of it. That is all I need to work on the KLR for the most part. That can fix just about everything I need trailside. And then it just sits here in this Moose Racing fender bag, as you guys have seen. So yeah, that really is it. I love my Mosko Moto stuff. I wasn't sure at first. It was pricey, and I am hard on my gear, very hard on my gear. I needed to know that it would stand up, which is why I started with the 25-liter Scout. After having that for a while and seeing the quality of the build on that piece of equipment, I fairly quickly actually made up my mind that I was going to be buying the R80. It looked like the one I needed to have to do what I do, either weekend camping or longer week-long trips. And the R80 can carry everything that I need for a week, no problem. Oops. I do put this strap over the top because there was one instance where I had this bag actually slide out of here, so I do keep that strap tied over it. That's all my Mosko Moto gear, guys. Reckless 80, Mosko Moto Nomad, and pinner tool roll. And the 25-liter Scout when the Reckless 80 isn't on the bike. Absolutely love it. I personally feel that it's worth the money, even up here in Canada where you have to pay the duty and import. Buy once and forget it, right? I do know that they're fantastic people to deal with if you have any issues. They certainly try hard to sort it out. And I don't expect you will have many. I think they're few and far between, but yeah, there we go. Highly recommended from this end. Take care, guys. Mind how you go, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now. Hey guys, if you liked that video, hit the thumbs up button for us. It goes a long way towards helping out the channel. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button in the upper corner for new videos every Sunday. Be glad to have you along for the ride.